Dear Macedonia, I mean North Macedonia. If I don't say that, the Greeks will get mad at me. But then again, if I call you that, then you'll get mad at me. I can't win this one. You know what, for the sake of saving time from the convoluted title situation that I already explained years ago, I'll just call you Mac. Hey Mac, what's up? Remember me from the Balkans letter? I told you I'd make a separate video for you. So when I was a kid, I remember one day my older sister brought home her art project. Her assignment was to make a bust of a human head out of red clay. What my sister had brought home that day was the most horrifyingly repulsive abomination that was unfortunate to have ever been created. Now, I don't have any pictures or videos of this horror beyond comprehension, because this was decades ago, back when we didn't document every waking moment of our lives like we do now, but to the best of my recollection, I remember this figure was a bald man with a wide-eyed expression and gaping mouth, as if he was screaming to the universe to please release him of his existence being a symbol of everything wrong manifested in physical form. I tried to describe this to an AI image generator, and this is what it came out with, but this picture is too realistic. Here, maybe I'll try to recreate it out of Play-Doh. Yeah, something like this. She decided to place it on a ledge in the basement and forget it rather than keep it in her room. Then one day she had a sleepover with her friends in the basement. I remember she told me that at one point she and her friends looked at the sculpture, looked away, and when they looked back, the sculpture moved by itself. I remember hearing the horrified screams of the 4 or so traumatized Minnesota schoolgirls in my basement at the time. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the sculpture after that, but I think one of my sister's weird friends wanted to keep it out of morbid curiosity. The point is, sculptures and statues have the power to make people feel things. Usually they're created as a means to honor significant people or events that invoke a sense of pride or nostalgia. Sometimes they make us ponder the complex parables that we find life offering, and sometimes, like my sister and her weird friend, a sculpture or statue can make two different peoples feel two different things. And that's where you come in. Look, Mac, I'm just gonna get to the point. Out of all the former Yugoslav nations, you're the one that probably has the most complicated identity crisis that still hasn't been completely figured out. And yes, in my opinion, even more complicated than Bosnia and Herzegovina. Because even though they have that weird constituent peoples thing going on, at least it's like 3 squabbling cousins that get each other while arguing. You're like the weird half-step uncle that got dragged into the Yugoslav situation while still having a complicated relationship with Bulgaria and an argument with Greece. I mean, what even are you guys really? Like, I know the simple answer is Balkan Slavs, but how far back do you really want to go? Because I know some people might bring up the eras in history that precede your state's sovereignty, which brings up the whole heritage dispute. I'm not going to claim to be a person who can make an objective statement about your identity. I just find it fascinating that you guys even exist at all. It's like a soap opera. Bulgarians think you guys are the adorable but brainwashed mini versions of themselves, and you hate them for this, but come on, we all know you sure love to marry them or have them vouch for you for EU citizenship. And I'm not even going to get into the whole Greece thing. I mean, there's a reason why they just call you Skopje, which, by the way, was where Mom and I were headed. So let's rewind and go back to where the previous letter ended. We were just about to leave Albania at the border of your country, and this is what happened. Man, look at these Albanian mountains. Here we go. Border with Macedonia. Oh, here's the border. And we're about to enter North Macedonia by Albania. And entering North Macedonia. 52 for 13 kilometers. Made it to the North Macedonian border. There was no customs border guard at the Albanian side. I don't know what happened. It was just empty, so we just drove forward. The line is super long. No idea what's going on, but we'll figure it out. And then I figured this out. So I'm being held here at the North Macedonian border because I didn't realize this, but you have to pay for a green card insurance if you're driving into the country. No one told me. It costs 50 euros. I didn't know these. No one told me this. I didn't know. Whatever, let's just move on. Well, I guess that Open Balkan Initiative trade union doesn't quite apply to rental cars. Whatever, you learn and move on. Let's go to Ohrid. Mom, try to pronounce Ohrid. Like Ohrid.
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 You got it? All right. in these countries, you see these boxy Yugo cars. They stopped making them a long time ago because, you know, Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
Të mira për smundjet e zemrës, për kundër kancerit, për
Nëse ke dëshirë të dalësh atje jashtë të ndeshësh me dragonj,
You are using Andy to fill a hole.
Well, right when we get here, a natural phenomenon occurs. It's a sun shower. It's raining like crazy, but the sun's out. Weird. Dear Mac, you know how you sometimes find a place that's a little off the beaten path and then you end up loving it so much that you really hope you can just enjoy it for yourself before it becomes discovered and bombarded by a caravan of Chinese tour buses? That's Ohrid. When most people think of a picturesque lake, they think of things like Lake Tahoe or Lake Como. But this place, Hidden Gem, is like an arrestable understatement. Okay, seriously, what is up with this place? Like, I know it's a UNESCO heritage site. I've seen the pictures and videos. Hell, it was mentioned in my video about you. But to see it up front in person was like beyond anything I could ever mentally construct. And now let's cut to the free public domain sappy sentimental music. I have never seen a lake or any body of water for that matter with such a still surface. Like, unless a boat was passing by, there was almost no movement or waves. It was like a pure, flat, transparent liquid lens. And the best part, this lake looks perfect in both sunset and sunrise, especially in the mornings when the waters are calmer and there's a serene, hazy mist that hovers off in the distance. All right, this is Lake Ohrid. Water is a little cold. Ooh, but I like it. This is the most serene, calm, placid waters I've ever experienced in my life. Look how still the waters are. It's crazy. And there's little fishies in the water. Look. I like it. Oh my gosh. There's swans. There's swans in this lake. The air was so crisp and fresh, the surrounding mountains speckled with quaint hillside villages, adorned with gardens and cobblestone pathways. Come on, dude, seriously? This is real? It's a little bit of a hike, but the view is spectacular. We're gonna get to this church one way or another. Oh, we made it. There it is. It was quite a hike, but we made it. Now, Mac, let me ask you something. Why did this happen? Mom and I needed to go to your capital, Skopje, right? So if you look at the map, it makes sense. We would probably take the E65 highway, right? It's the main highway that connects Skopje to Ohrid. Nope. When I plug in Skopje in Google Maps, it tells me to take a sharp right at Gorica and take another sharp turn into the incredibly narrow one-lane, haphazardly built road with no guardrail in the middle of the crazy steep mountains by the Treska River. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this was about to be a very happy accident. Macedonian villages. This is crazy. I had to stop the car because all along the Treska River, when you go on the road following the river, every single piece of the mountainside, all the cliffs are made of white Macedonian marble. This is white Macedonian marble stone. Crazy. This is like high quality stone, man. This is an expensive road. I literally took some home with me as a souvenir. So apparently I didn't realize this, but the road stops at this point, this little checkpoint thing, and you have to wait until the next opening. So we have to wait like 30 minutes. I don't know why they do this, but we can't move on until the guy says so at 1 o'clock, and it's like 12:30 right now. Apparently I learned that the reason is because the road is so small that they can only allow traffic to go in one direction in 30-minute intervals to cross the entire mountain, and the patrol stations will relay when the last car has passed so they can let the other side go when they are done. Let's kill time in this middle of nowhere shed thing. This is pretty cool. I've seen this. I think it's mostly an Orthodox thing. Little mini church shrines, and you can give them like offerings, little coins here and there. Every country has a different word for them. I don't know exactly what they're called in Macedonian, but later on I found out that they're just called little churches, or mali cirkvi, and they're usually put on the side of the road to honor deceased people in that area. Yeah, you see these every so often. Little shrine thing. Wow, they got one of them here. Interesting. And then we got some nice spring water right here. And we get to fill up our bottles. So now I understand why we stopped. Because the road is so narrow that they have to stop the other side from going so that the other side can go on a one-way path. That's why. Look how narrow this road is. The road is barely like 2 meters wide, and there's like no guardrail sometimes. So you just gotta wing it. Of course we end up in some country ass road. I didn't have the chance to document it because I was too busy driving, but my mom was also screaming in the car. Anywho, dear Mac, so this unexpected route took us to the south side of Skopje. Skopje is, I mean, wow. There's definitely a theme going on. You can immediately sense it the moment you take 2 steps in the city. And here I was gonna meet my #1 go-to Macedonian, Dimitr, or Dima. So, Dimitr, what do we have here? What is this statue?
So, the great Alexander of Macedon statue, as the Greeks love to call it, the Macedonian hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little controversial, but
just a little
bit.
Yeah, just a little.
Goodness, Skopje, got the flag and the fake Arc de Triomphe. Like, so much here going on. Look, I wasn't here to egg Dimitr on or badger him about his perspective or the nation's perspective on these matters. I already explained everything in my video that I made. I'm just gonna say that I just wanted to see it for myself. This one city that decided to give itself a makeover by making a very big statement that a lot of people would have a lot of opinions on. So basically in 2014, the government got a ton of money and they pretty much just spent it on all this stuff, right?
They thought it was a good idea to rank up tourism for some reason.
About that.
Oh, by the way, that other random guy, his name is Andrew. He recognized me on the street and he started following us. But that's basically why you see all this extravagant, Baroque, whatever style, everything neoclassical architecture and statues. Yeah. There we go.
Infamous stone bridge.
Infamous stone bridge. There's just a guy in a boat in the middle of the river. Dear Mac, or rather, dear Skopje, how many statues do you even have? Like, seriously, I tried researching it, and most answers come up as unknown or hundreds upon hundreds. In fact, the local joke is that there are more statues than people in this city. Even the locals are a little flabbergasted as to why there's such an over-exuberant aesthetic to this relatively small city. What was the budget? Like $80 to $500 million? But you know what? Honestly, from an outsider's perspective, I have to admit, I kind of like it. Like, dang, I've never seen a place with so many statues. I mean, look, I don't have to understand what every freaking statue means, and let's be honest, most non-Balkan visitors won't either. Upon first impression, it's just like, wow, there's a ton of statues, and it's kind of like an opulent open museum type of setting. Plus, a lot of people probably won't even know what the statues are anyway, because a lot of the plaques have been ripped off in protests, but that's a whole other story. Anywho, the point is, personally, I have to admit, context of statues aside, at least the view is pretty cool. Also, a lot of things just don't make sense or have weird names.
So this is weird. Why? These two are two similar modern buildings. One is a museum about the Macedonian struggle, and the other one is a basic IT building.
A museum
IT
connected
company.
to an IT company
Yeah.
building.
Macedonia stuff.
Why is there a random ship over there?
So explain the breakdown of subdivisions in...
So
First level subdivisions in Macedonia, very simple. We only have municipalities, we don't have regions. So Skopje is divided into like 10 municipalities. Aerodrome literally meaning airport. We have Kisela Voda, literally meaning carbonated water.
Carbonated water municipality.
Yeah, Gazi Baba, which means stepping on a grandma for some
Stepping
reason.
on the grandma.
why is that a name?
Yeah.
Stepping on a grandma.
Yeah. For some reason.
I should come here.
You need to come more often, man.
More often, yeah.
Last time was 10 years old.
Yeah. You know that building is?
What is that building?
The water and sewage treatment.
The water?
You basically
That's the
put-
water and sewage treatment?
You basically pay your sewage and water there.
Skopje, man. Just out of my own curiosity, what do Macedonians think of Bulgarians?
If you want to live your life and enjoy your life, you feel like you're a Bulgarian or a Macedonian, I don't care. I'm gonna get a lot of hate from this probably. But to be honest,
I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
listen, if you're enjoying your life and living your life, right? Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
I don't. A lot of politically involved people are gonna hate me.
Everybody's just people.
Yeah. Just, this is my opinion.
But you guys can understand their language, though.
Yeah,
right?
it's very easy.
Yeah.
I'm
Just keep it a little quiet.
Yeah.
I'm close
Just
on
don't talk about that one thing.
That one thing, yeah. All right.
And of course, you can't come to the Balkans without doing one thing.
Oh my goodness, you guys have Tito. But he was Croatian, so Yugoslavia. We are at a rakia bar. What do you recommend?
Zdravo. Da izbereme koja rakija da je proba.
Turisti onda koja je najdobra tradicionalna rakija da mu dajemo da proba. It's like €2.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it.
What do you rate? 1 to 10.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I taste it. It doesn't burn. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah. I know you're not supposed to shoot it, you're not supposed to sip it, right?
Yeah.
I'm American, so.
Yeah, I'm American. I have to shoot everything.
Mr. Andre, what are we eating?
We are eating something called Shakska Pleskovic. It's a beef patty with cheese inside. And honestly, one of the best meals, proper meals in Macedonia.
Oh boy, look at that. Whoa, so you guys are, you're a candidate for the European Capital of Culture in 2028.
If we get this, if we win this competition, you're coming again. You're coming again.
Oh.
We're gonna party and drink all night long.
Okay, so I guess that's the deal. If they win candidate for 2028, I gotta come back here and do more rakia.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
holding
Okay,
on
how
your
about this?
words.
Will you drink with me then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
More than once.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, deal. You heard it here. Deal.
Yeah, deal.
All right, deal. Deal. All right.
Dear Mac, I guess a lot of people don't realize that even domestically you have your whole identity crisis thing going on. I mean, it's pretty evident that there's a lot of Roma and Albanian people here, and that aspect plays a whole other level of complication when it comes to your identity. I'm not going to get into it. The point is, it's such a small place and so much going on. And to me, that warrants you guys the title of super underrated.
Mr. Dima, Mr. Andrew, what is a Macedonian?
Well, a Macedonian is like a South Slavic group of people. We like to have fun, but like through all of our struggles and painships, we just laugh at it and have fun while doing it.
You basically accept it and live with it and move on, or you argue and protest as the elder generation do.
You still have fun doing protesting though.
We'll still make sure to have fun and drink and enjoy some Macedonian rakia.
There we go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
South Slavs, man.
Yeah.
South Slav. Balkan Slavs. Balkans.
Dear Mac, from Ohrid to the Treska Marble River to Skopje, I have to be completely honest, you're the Balkan country that shocked me the most. And that's specifically why I gave you your own specific letter. Whether they like you or disagree with you, there's something about you that I just feel like people need to see for themselves. But hey, you know what? It's very likely I might come back, because I have to do a project in Kosovo next year, and you guys are literally right next door. Who knows, I'll see what I can do. I'll hit up Dima. Maybe he can be my sidekick on another adventure. In any case, it was such a pleasure. Hopefully I'll see you sometime soon.